bhushanam param bhaktyo yesham bhajatatma labdaye. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is learned from the Vedic literature that by performing great sacrifices, one may elevate himself to the heavenly planets. However, although life on the heavenly planets is hundreds and thousands of times more comfortable than life on earth, the heavenly planets are not pure, nirmalam, or free from the taint of material existence. The heavenly planets are also temporary, and therefore they are not the goal of life. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, has never been seen or heard to possess inebriety. Consequently, for your own benefit and self-realization, you must worship the Lord with great devotion as described in the revealed scriptures. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Shine Punye Martya Lokam Vishanti. Even if one is promoted to the higher planetary systems by performing great sacrifices, which are accompanied by the sinful act of sacrificing animals, the standard of happiness in Swarga Loka is also not free of disturbances. There is a similar struggle for existence even for the king of heaven, Indra. Thus, there is no practical benefit in promoting oneself to the heavenly planets. Indeed, from the heavenly planets, one must return to this earth after one has exhausted the results of his pious activities. In Vedas, it is said, Tat yateha karma jitaloka kshiyate evam eva mutra punya jito loka kshiyata. As the material possessions we acquire here by hard work are vanished in due course of time, one's residence in the heavenly planets is also eventually vanished. According to one's activities of piety in different degrees, one obtains different standards of life, but none of them are permanent, and therefore they are all impure. Consequently, one should not endeavor to be promoted to the higher planetary systems only to return to this earth or descend still lower to the hellish planets. To stop this cycle of going up and coming down, one must take to Krishna consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kauna Bhagyavan Ji, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. The living entity is rotating in the cycle of birth and death, going sometimes to the higher planets and sometimes to the lower planets. But that is not the solution to the problems of life. But if by the grace of Krishna, one is fortunate enough to meet a guru, a representative of Krishna, one gets the clue to returning home back to Godhead. Having achieved self-realization, this is what is actually desirable. Bhajatatma labdaye. One must take to Krishna consciousness for self-realization. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Evam hi loka kratubhi kratami Shai Shaishnavasat Ishaya Nirmalam Tasmadadrishta Shutadushanam Param Bhaktyoktayesham Bhajatatma Labdhaye. It is learned from Vedic literature that by performing great sacrifices, one may elevate himself to the heavenly planets. However, although life on the heavenly planets is hundreds and thousands of times more comfortable than life on earth, the heavenly planets are not pure, nirmalam, or free from the taint of material existence. The heavenly planets are also temporary and therefore they are not the goal of life. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, has never been seen or heard to possess inebriety. Consequently, for your own benefit and self realization, you must worship the Lord with great devotion, as described in the revealed scriptures. So, we're very fortunate that we have Srila Prabhupada's mercy that we are able to talk, associate, and practice Krishna consciousness. As Srila Prabhupada explains, Kon Bhagyavan Ji, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So, our fortune sometimes we have not even understood how much fortune we are blessed with. So, Prahlad Maharaj, out of his extraordinary kindness, is speaking his heart out. You will see this mood in every self-realized soul. Their mood of giving instructions, giving us directions, had always been selfless, unconditional, and they give such solutions that otherwise we would have not imagined. And last but not least, they even offer their help for us to walk that path. So it is not just some sort of a philosophical narration that they come and give and go. It is absolutely extending themselves to rescue us from this suffering situation. And the suffering situation, that what we comprehend vis-a-vis what is actually suffering, is in itself an education. Sometimes you may be thinking that falling in disease is suffering. Sometimes you may think that not having money is a suffering. Sometimes you may think that not having a good marriage is a suffering. That is suffering. We are not saying, but that's not only the suffering. Somehow the narrative that we have understood in this material world is that apparently that causes some sort of a social uh, problem or status problem, or our dignity is compromised, or in terms of our expected material happiness is compromised, we define it as our problem. But when we hear from self-realized souls, like that of Prahlad Maharaj, like that of Narada Muni, like that of Srila Prabhupada, that's when even the basic sense of understanding what the problem is realized. There was a Brahmana who visited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house, and when generally Brahmanas visit, everybody go and ask for blessings. So when we ask for blessings, they are so kind. Brahmanas are known to give blessings. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was and his family, they got the blessings. What blessings generally they give? I mean, I'm not sure what blessings exactly that Brahmana gave. Their exact words, verbatim. But typical blessings are that people say that Rojano Roja Sobamana Kalyanaha Dhanyam Dhanam Pasum Bahuputra Labam Sadasam Vatsaram Dirgamayuhu. It means let you all get all auspiciousness. Dhanyam, you get grains. Dhanam, wealth. Pashum, cattle, because that was considered as a measuring scale. Bahu, putra, labam, benefit. Sadasam, vatsaram, 100 years of living. Dirgamayuhu. So when such blessings are given, the family gets happy, because by getting all these things, people think that they can remain happy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this, as I said, this is not exact verbatim that, but he said the Brahmana blessed in some capacity similar to that. So he started saying, my dear sir, if I had made any mistake, please forgive me. Brahmana said, why I am blessing you? Why are you even saying this? He says, for whatever you have said, how is it that our suffering in this world going to go away? By getting dhanyam, dhanam, pasum, bahu, putra, labam, 100 years. How? How is that we are going to be free from suffering? As Prabhupada writes in this purport, that when all our punya is exhausted, when all our piety is finished, as all the hard work by which we achieve a degree, power, position, name, fame, followers, they are not going to be there with us forever. So we need to come to a realization. One of the aspects of self-realization is neither good nor bad is needed for us. Because by acquiring good things, good karma, let me say that way, neither by acquiring good karma nor by committing bad activities, we are going to get any advantage. Because by getting good karma, We may go to higher planetary systems, heavenly planets. By getting bad karma, we will go to hellish planets. Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna mam upetyat kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. Krishna explains, even if you come to the level of Brahma Loka, punar janma is assured. You have to come back. Abrahmastamba paryantam sarvam mayamayam jagat satyam satyam punah satyam hare namaiva kevalam. Abrahmastamba paryantam sarvam mayamayam jagat satyam satyam punah satyam hare namaiva kevalam. So my first realization, reflection from this particular shloka is that we as practicing devotees need to come to an understanding and convinced that we are not interested in anything good karma, or neither we are interested in bad karma. As devotees, as followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission, we will not settle in for anything less than Krishna and Krishna's association and Krishna's service. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't need anything more, because there is nothing more than that. We don't need anything less, because everything less than that is substandard. And as those who are blessed by Srila Prabhupada and our predecessor Acharyas, it is an insult to this process if we settle in for anything less. It is like someone who is very highly qualified, someone who is very highly intelligent, someone is able to, independently think. When he gets access to the most powerful person, he should know how to conduct himself. When you have audience with a multi-millionaire, so at least have a courage to ask him something that suits his status. You get to meet the multi-millionaire of your country and ask him for $100 donation is ridiculous. Even $1,000 is ridiculous. When $10,000 is ridiculous. Why? Because that person is capable of giving millions of dollars. So Krishna, as Prahlad Maharaj is saying, the Supreme Personality of God, or however, has never been seen or heard to possess inability. Meaning what? He is not a person who is in state of intoxication. He is sane. He will not forget his promises. He will keep up his promise. So Srila Prabhupada is, repeatedly giving us this assurance that this Krishna consciousness movement is the only solution for the suffering souls. If we are not able to get relief from this, then nowhere else we can get relief from. So hence, as a first reflection from this particular shloka, let us learn, let us convince ourselves that We need not get elated when we are materially successful. We need not get completely, in complete distraughted state when we are in suffering, knowing that these two are bound to come and go. Matra sparshastha kaunteya sidoshna sudha dukkada agama payino anityastam titikshasva bharata. So hence, our devotional journey is supposed to be having one singular agenda. That agenda is to somehow or other get service with Krishna, service for Krishna, association with Krishna's devotees, and love the Supreme Lord. And that is possible, and that is made easily available by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through this Sankirtan mission. So Prahlad Maharaj is giving us a warning, because many of us, or most those who have not understood the science of Krishna consciousness, have thought that they have a problem temporarily to solve. If they solve the problem, then they will think about Krishna consciousness. So we have this tendency that let me solve this problem now. My current financial problem, if this is addressed, then I will be able to perform better. Then somehow or other, I will solve this family situation. Then I will peacefully chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Let me just make sure that I buy a house. Then I will start regularly attending the Sunday program. As they say, if anyone wants to take bath in the ocean, and if they say, let the waves stop, I will take bath in the ocean. When will the waves stop? And when will he take bath? So there is a very important lesson for all of us. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada tells a very interesting story. There was a disciple who approached the spiritual master for advice. And the Guru told, so you are a brahmachari, don't have too many aspirations, just simply have minimal requirement in your life and try to focus your life for studying Bhagavad Gita. So, the Guru said, have very minimal set of clothing, not too much, and just focus on studying Bhagavad Gita. So this disciple was very sincere. So he said, okay, I will have only 2 sets of kaupin, a cloth to cover himself. And he said, I will study Bhagavad Gita.
एवढं कशाला टेन्शन घेता तुम्ही?
So,
आणि खरं आता तू ह्यावेळेस जा
Hare Krishna, can you please
काढून जाऊ
stop
नको.
yourself? Haribol.
तू काय कर.
So, what happens is that when he decided to study Bhagavad Gita, so he said that, okay, I will have only 2 sets of clothes, one for wearing, another for changing. He started studying Bhagavad Gita, and to his dismay, a rat came and started eating the kaupin that was kept drying. So this guy who was studying Bhagavad Gita got a bit concerned, saying, oh my God, if the rat eat this cowpin off, so how will I change myself tomorrow? So I have to study Bhagavad Gita, and this will be really a problem. So one day he shooed the rat away, second day he shoot away. But this became a routine problem. So he decided that I will solve this problem permanently so that I can study Bhagavad Gita. So he chose a permanent solution, thinking that the best way to drive the rats away is to have a cat. So he somehow managed to pause his Bhagavad Gita reading, to go out and get a cat so that he can shoo the rat away. And then he started reading Bhagavad Gita, was completely satisfied that now I found a permanent solution to my problem. I will strictly follow my guru's advice by studying Bhagavad Gita. The cat started, making sound because the cat was hungry. Meow, meow. And he thought, oh my God, I have to feed the cat. So he ran around here and there to fetch milk, fetch some food. And this consumed his time to go out to the market, fetch milk, boil them and whatever that he has to do. Then he thought, this is too much. It's wasting, it is consuming a lot of my productive time to read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So he chose that he will do a permanent solution to this problem. And what was the permanent solution? Instead of going out to get the milk, he said, let me get a cow in my own ashram. If I have cow in the ashram, then I need not go out and waste my time standing in the queue to buy milk and stuff like that. I will do, my reading peacefully, and whenever I need to milk the, cow, I'll milk it and give it to the cat. And cat will take care of the rat. And my coffin is intact, so I can study Bhagavad Gita. So, I don't know how many of you have experience of taking care of cow or knowing what it takes to take care of a cow. It's a very glorious service, but then it needs lots of attention. So, he brought the cow, and it took him much more time than he expected. And he had so much of labor to milk the cow and do all sorts of service to the cow. When he had to do the service to the cow, he was thinking, one day I'm doing this, today I'm doing this, every day doing this is going to be a very strenuous job. So I'm not going to manage all these things myself. It is going to consume a lot of my time. My Gurudeva has given me instruction to study Bhagavad Gita. I should not be wasting all my time like this. I cannot have a labor and I have to pay him. I'm not earning, I'm a brahmachari. So what should I do? So he thought that if I marry, then probably I will have a permanent partner who can help me, and she may be looking after all these things, and I can peacefully study Bhagavad Gita. Now the rest of the story you all will know what would have happened. He got married, he got children, and Gurudev came after his Tirtha Yatra to see how his disciple is doing in his Bhagavad Gita study. He came and saw the disciple is having 2 children, with his wife, with cow, with all the arrangements, and no more reading of Bhagavad Gita because he is working pretty hard looking after this family. So the second reflection in this context is, even if you try to work hard to find a solution to the so-called problem so that you can remain happy, you can't find a solution. You can't find a solution, permanent solution to your materialistic problem in the materialistic, world, but for taking up Krishna consciousness. So we keep that I will solve this problem, then I'll go to Krishna. I will solve this problem, then I'll go to Krishna. I'll solve this problem, then I'll go to Krishna. You will never be able to solve this problem because this is dukkhalayam. And even if you have a problem solved, asashwatam, temporary. So Krishna has given two attributes to this material world. One is dukkhalayam. This is a place of suffering. And asashwatam. Even if you have happiness, that happiness is temporary. As I said earlier, that the definition of happiness in this material world is that when you catch hold of a person, you beat him out of his life, you completely thrash him continuously for half an hour, and you give him a 15 minutes break. Then you thrash him for another half an hour. You give him a 15 minutes break. Then you thrash him for half an hour. If you keep doing this whole day, and you ask him to define how the day was, he will say those 15 minutes of the break that he got was like a big relief, big, happiness. So somewhere we are starting to accept non-existence of temporary problem is actually happiness. We have not even tasted, or we do not have the remembrance of the taste of the, actual happiness. So hence the second, reflection in this context is that we cannot, should not go after solving material problems by materialistic way. Srila Prabhupada is writing a wonderful chapter in Science of Self-Realization book. He titled this chapter as Material Problem, Spiritual Solutions. Even if you have some apparently quote-unquote spiritual problem, spiritual solutions. No problem, spiritual solutions. Every problem, spiritual solutions. So this is one such thing, that single medicine for all the trouble. You tell any trouble, this medicine will work. One time, devotees from ISKCON Juhu, Radha Rasa Bihari temple, wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada. This is in 1970s sometime. It says the temple construction and the arrangement was slightly different than how it is now. So they wrote to Prabhupada saying that Srila Prabhupada, we have so much of rat problem in the temple. Because when Prabhupada was there on the planet, the devotees had so much of a bonding with Srila Prabhupada, like that of a father and son, even for the smallest of things. They used to ask Srila Prabhupada. We do not nowadays go and ask our spiritual master such questions. First of all, we do not even approach our spiritual master for questions. What to speak of any questions? That's the biggest, challenge. We seldom approach our spiritual authorities with questions. Because if we have spiritual questions, which means we are spiritually thinking, which means spiritually progressing. If we do not have any spiritual questions, if we do not have inquisitiveness, then we are in some state of concern. So hence, Prabhupada wrote back. Prabhupada at the time was in US, probably he was in Los Angeles or somewhere. So Prabhupada wrote back, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Your problem will get solved. If somebody read the question and answer, how they will be able to correlate? We have rat problem in Radha Rasa Bihari temple? Answer is, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly. Your rat problem will go. How will you understand? How will you correlate? So by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our consciousness will become pure and better. When your consciousness is pure and better, you keep your body, mind, consciousness, intelligence, and your surroundings clean. If keep your surroundings clean, rodents won't come. All these rat, cockroaches, and different things, they come because our cleanliness standard is compromised. So, by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, my cleanliness standard will improve and you will be able to handle your rat problem. And if you do not have such an understanding or something similar to that, you will be thinking that Prabhupada has not understood my question. So hence, my second reflection is that let us not work to solve our material problem materially. We definitely have to solve the problem. And the intelligence is we solve the problem from its roots. There was a small boy who has developed boil on his back. This boil was growing bigger and bigger, and he was feeling painful, and it was burning. And poor mother of that boy, she kept on cajoling him, saying that don't worry beta, it will be all right. But she wasn't having any clue how to help him. So whenever the boy used to come to her, mommy, it is burning, she would blow air on her, on the boil. She would blow some hot air from her mouth and try to give some comfort. So long as she was blowing, so long as she was trying to pacify, the boy was all right. Otherwise, as soon as she stops, he would cry again. Then someone suggested that why don't you put some sort of some leaf or some a temporary, as we say, nani dawai, or some sort of a temporary solution. So long as they applied some herbs, applied some sort of ointment, that boy was feeling relieved. But as soon as the ointment or the herb washed away, so you would again find it burning. So they consulted to a intelligent family member. He said, he happened to be a physician. He said that best way is to operate on this boil and remove them. The boy said, what is this operation all about? He said, we'll take a knife and cut open the boil and just clean you up and dress you up. Few days, you'll be all right. The boy started screaming at the doctor, saying that, are you mad? I'm already in pain. You're going to put knife on that pain? How is this justifiable? How is this going to solve? It's going to add more pain. But somehow, everybody convinced him and he was operated. And the pain got completely cured in few days. This example is given to say that performing operation is like practicing Krishna consciousness principles for mitigating materialistic problems. Applying herbs is like practicing some sort of temporary yoga practices. blowing air is like, Nirvisesha Sunyavadi types. Trying to be non-violent, trying to be a good human being without any base of spiritual ideologies and spiritual principles. When you take up Krishna consciousness, it may be slightly difficult because we have to follow 4 regulatory principles, chant 16 rounds, we have some rules and regulations, we have some boundaries to operate on. There are certain things that we don't agree upon. There are certain things that we expect you all to follow. But the problem is addressed at the root cause level. So hence, my third reflection is that as Prahlad Maharaj is explaining here, that let us not hesitate to perform the operation, because the surgery is for our own benefit, because it is explained in the revealed scriptures. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. For your own benefit and self-realization, you must worship the Lord with great devotion as described in the revealed scriptures. So, even if Krishna consciousness is slightly boring, slightly intense, slightly, making me an odd man out, let us stay put to this process to eventually be free from all the materialistic problems. In the Nectar of Instruction, sloka number 7, Rupa Goswami explains, saying that because the tongue is not finding the taste of the holy name, and the reason the tongue is not able to relish the taste, he is explaining holy name to sugar candy. Rupa Goswami says when a person is suffering with jaundice, he may not be able to taste the sweet of the sugar candy. He will find them bitter. But that's wrong. We all know sugar candy is sweet. But the person in diseased condition, he will not find it sweet. So hence, it is encouraged that somehow or other, this jaundice gets cured. And when jaundice gets cured, you will naturally get the taste of it. And this revealed scriptures that Prahlad Maharaj is referring is nothing but Srimad Bhagvatam. Soka Moha Bhayapaha. That is Srimad Bhagvatam. That which can remove attachment, fear, and illusion. So it is imperative that we perform this operation. And I always say this operation as honest, guided introspection that we do every day to see that how much I have taken up Krishna consciousness, how much close I have come towards Krishna, how much of devotional service I am doing for the Supreme Lord, how much advantage I am taking from the pure devotees, how much seriousness I have in relinquishing my materialistic whims and fancies, and how much I am eager to consistently follow these practices. So if you do not do this, then we have a big challenge. And hence, the third reflection is that we all, as practicing devotees, we all need to perform the surgery upon ourselves. Sometimes we may not be able to do surgery ourselves. We cannot, treat upon ourselves. So we can take help of some sincere souls. We can take some help of some practicing wonderful devotees who can help us to get rid of our material conditioning. So this third reflection is the only way forward for us to safeguard ourselves from this material conditioning. If we are not doing anything about it, then it is our loss, then it is us who will be held responsible. So I would like to end the third reflection with some set of 3 powerful statements that I came across. Number 1, far too many people are looking for the right person instead of trying to be the right person. Which means we need to first have the intention to be the right person. Just looking for the right person is not enough. Just going to the doctor is not enough. Going to the doctor is very good. Getting the diagnosis done is very good. Getting the prescription from the doctor is very good. Even going and buying the medicines is very good. But unless you have made up your mind to regularly take the medicines and follow the diet the doctor has suggested, all this endeavor is having a challenge. So the first reflection, the first statement is that we need to make up our mind. Of course, by associating with right people, we may develop that, but eventually it is upon us. Onus of how much we are serious in Krishna consciousness is upon us. We cannot blame anyone. The second statement is it is better to walk alone than with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Many times we look for companion, look for somebody to travel along with us. We never want to be an odd man out in the entire arrangement. So in the process, we compromise on the principles. But here, after hearing Prahlad Maharaj's advice, at least we can make up our mind that my father, mother, brother, sister, friends, everybody say that we will not go to Swargaloka, but we will say that no, we will not. We are not interested in Swargaloka. We are not interested in any materialistic, benefits. Are you ready to give me Krishna? Are you ready to give me access to Krishna's devotees and transcendental service to the Supreme Lord? Then we are in. Otherwise, we are not interested. And third is, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool we believe we are, how we treat people ultimately tells all. In the sense that just because we are practicing devotees, just because we got Krishna consciousness, just because we are blessed with some wonderful association, doesn't mean that we have to be arrogant. We have to be more humble, more compassionate, and more accommodative in winning more and more souls because somebody did that to us. So hence the third reflection is about conducting operation upon oneself. So these are the 3 sets of reflections from this current shloka. So to summarize our learnings, number 1, that let us accept the fact that I do not want materialistic prosperity, neither I am interested in materialistic suffering. So our problems are not only sufferings, our problems are even materialistic good things is also relatively a problem because there is a very famous book called Good to Great. The biggest obstacle for us to achieve great things is our good things. Because bad things, we will anyway leave them behind. but good things to great. Because of being attached to good things, we will not even aim for doing something great. So for us to aim something for great, which is, as Prabhupada says in this purport, Bhagyavan Jeev, one have to learn to think beyond good. The second reflection is about that in the journey of progressing in our Krishna consciousness, the journey of we making advancement in Krishna consciousness, we are supposed to take cognizance of this fact that Krishna is going to definitely help us. We need to find a permanent solution. Don't try to find permanent solution for the material problem in the materialistic place. We need to have permanent solution that is available from Krishna consciousness. And as we discussed, that the intention of trying to solve the problem now, and so that we can properly chant Krishna consciousness, is never going to happen. This is Dukkhalayam Asashvatam. So don't procrastinate your devotional journey. The third reflection is about how the operation, the cutting the boil, going to the root, addressing the root cause and solving them permanently. What is that? I am identifying myself with my body. I am identifying myself with my surroundings. I am identifying myself with my materialistic, resources. So if you address that and somehow or other realize that I am not this body but spirit soul, and this place is not my house, I am eternally servant of Krishna. And with that understanding, with that realization, if we are performing devotional service as directed by the revealed scriptures, then I think we are safe. And hence we have to perform everyday operation upon ourselves. And that operation is honest, guided introspection. Let us learn to be a right people, have the desire to be a right people in the association of the right people. Otherwise, just seeking the association for the namesake and formality doesn't make any sense. And let us choose to walk alone if need be. That's not going to be the case, but even if need be, rather than going in the wrong direction. And let's learn to treat people properly so that our devotional journey is in right consciousness. So Prahlad Maharaj is, giving so many words of wisdom. And today is a glorious day for us in India of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has appeared as a very important Acharya to revive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. So in our tradition, there are several Acharyas whose names are, irreplaceable in the history, and without whom we would not be whomever we are. And one of them is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We are highly indebted to him because he has given us a very clear-cut strategic directions. Like how 6 Goswamis, headed by Srila Rupa Sanatana Goswamis, we got Vrindavana Dham. It is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur we got Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Mayapur, Navadvip, pastime places. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by and large, helped us in recognizing Mahaprabhu's, birthplace, as well as recognizing the real Gaudiya Vaishnava, devotee, and he differentiated them from bogus ones, and he had a very clear-cut directions for the practicing devotees. So we will take his blessings, seek his blessings, and try to win ourselves to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and all his predecessor Acharyas. Thank you so much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or comments or reflections? I'll be happy to respond.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanat Pranam. All goes to Sri Prabhupada. Such a nice class as usual. Your classes are so so philosophically grounding, philosophically clarifying, and very, very pointed, and makes our philosophical basis so strong, without which the turbulence of Maya, material world, is so strong that we get uprooted from our base or get swept away by the wave. So your classes are the life vests in such a situation. So very nice, Prabhuji. I have one small question. Your association is so much valued. One question regarding the philosophy that is propounded in common devotee circles here, ISKCON, is that you should take care of your material problem solution, spiritual problem solution. We should go hand in hand. This is the general refrain that is taken by a lot of in lot of situations. So my point is, first of all, Krishna doesn't say that. Krishna says dukhala masasatam, your material problem will never go away, and Trita Jala will never go away. And Krishna says yat karoshi adashnoshi adhyasitadashiyat. So why is this kind of philosophy is propounded or propagated?
I'm not, rather than answering your why people are propagating like this, I will answer something else which will maybe satisfy you. Is that how we can solve the material problems? Because the point that everybody is trying to address is, because you don't run after Krishna, 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 and don't, leave the current situation as straight. If somebody is not able to understand the science of Krishna consciousness properly, then better they understand. When Srila Prabhupada, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when every Acharya is coming and trying to advise us to be a devotee 24/7, they are also trying to express them in a very intelligent manner. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, if I am right. Sthane sthitas stuti gatan tanuvan manopi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, you wherever you are griheta ko, vaneta ko, sada hari boleta. So the first message is, I always give this example. I'm sorry, this example is a bit weird and don't quote me wrong. The big missionaries, whether it is terrorists, Naxalites, or even freedom movement or guerrilla, whomever that is, those who are into a missionary persons. Not every missionary is given up the house and in some sort of a remote place and trying to plan. There are a lot of people who have this missionary spirit, but they are mingled amongst Aam Admi. They are software engineers, they are mechanical engineers, they are doctors, they are scientists, there are so many people, but internally they are missionaries. They will fund for the mission, they will help in their own technical skills in the mission, they will provide the network to the mission. So the missionary mode is something that we are supposed to activate. So meaning, wherever, whatever activity that you are doing, nobody is saying don't earn money, but earn money to make sure that all of them is utilized for the right cause. What are the right cause? Bhagavatam explains. Because we get problem in 4 areas: money, health, our social status, and our so-called, materialistic responsibilities and things like that, right? So these 4 areas we get in trouble. Prabhuji, we have to earn money. Yes, please earn money. Prabhuji, we are supposed to look after our health. So please look after your health. Oh, I want to be socially, respectable. Who says no? And no, I have to look after my son, daughter, mother, father. Who says no? How in these 4 things, maybe there might be 40 more, how in these things Krishna consciousness is coming in your way? Rather, Srimad Bhagavatam explains how these 4 things can be nicely done. Narada Muni is explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj how money can be effectively spent and earned. To earn money respectfully without committing sinful activities. And the money, how you are supposed to spend, Rupa Goswami also explains, Narada Muni also explains, and you can also use your own, independent rationale. If it is meant for looking after the Supreme Lord, Vaishnavas, cows, poor people, dependents, to fulfill your conditional responsibilities, no problem. If it is meant for showing off, if it's meant for trying to, behave in a reckless manner, then you're answerable. Health, you're supposed to be healthy. So whatever it takes to be healthy, please do it. But don't be so obsessed with your health that you have nothing else left for Krishna consciousness. It is like, Krishna says, cows are very dear to me. What if somebody is in, making Goshala very successful and 24/7? They are with cows, not chanting, not looking after their family, not looking after his health. That's not how cows. You're supposed to be making sure that your sadhana is done, your family is looked after, your service to the cows are very nicely done. We should not do in a very reckless manner. That's not what is spoken about. So, when we talk about looking after our materialistic things, what I meant is not having any connection with Krishna and trying to do materialistic things is what is condemned. Varnashrama Dharma is that something that Srila Prabhupada wanted to revive. And Varnashrama Dharma means every ashrama has their own associated responsibilities. And that responsibilities are considered as devotionally surcharged if Krishna is in the center. Of course, day by day, time by time, moment by moment, we should raise our standard or raise our bar of our devotional standard up. But what we should not think is Krishna consciousness, considering Krishna consciousness as a part of life is what the problem is. Krishna consciousness should not just be a part of our life. Krishna consciousness is a way of life. So why people are saying what they are saying is also because somebody is amateurishly applying or they have amateurishly understood both the possibilities. But the real definition is, if you can be a brahmachari, please be a brahmachari. Be free from money, women, power, position, only service. If you are a sannyasi, free from money, women, power, position, free. If you are a grihastha, you are allowed to earn money, you are allowed to have a legitimate relationship, you are allowed to have position, and you are allowed to make sure that you are socially active. But in all these 4, you make sure Krishna is included. That is why, as practicing devotees, we should have one standard question that we should always ask, especially for grihasthas. Are my actions, whether it is job, buying a house, buying a car, relocating to another city, buying a toy, anything, is it going to be bringing me closer to Krishna or make me far away from Krishna? If it is going to bring you closer to Krishna, no problem. If it is going to take you far away from Krishna, even your austerity, even if your apparent, celibacy, your apparent devotional sentiments can be challenged. Am I making some sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, and that is correct. You said everything. I mean, the point. I mean, the prelude or the background from which that comment is made or that solution is given I think is that material and spiritual are separate. So you made it clear that it is all part of the Krishna conscious lifestyle. That is correct.
I'll make it much more direct. Suppose I am a terrorist. How do I look as a terrorist? Should I always move around with a gun? Or I can be in my normal dress, but I have a terrorist mentality. So I am terrorist not by my dress or address. I am terrorist by my consciousness. Suppose I am a software engineer, but in the heart of heart, I am a terrorist. I am assisting terrorist mission. So I am still considered as a terrorist and I'll be arrested. Not that I have to kill somebody. Even if I assist someone killing, or even if I assist someone who is assisting someone killing, in the supply chain, anywhere if I am participating, I am still called terrorist. Put that in the good side of things. You will be called a glorious devotee if your efforts, energy, intelligence, resources are going to go to Krishna. Your address or dress is not the deciding factor.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madal Pranam, all Gushupad Guru Maharaj. So, Prabhuji, that example, that strong statement you made about all material problems can be solved with solution which are spiritual, right? And
Yes.
you gave an example of Prabhupada ji who there were rats and they said that, you chant nicely. And then, he did give an example of the story that you mentioned of, cat getting this thing and you get more and more engrossed, right?
Yes.
So my
Yes.
question is that there are people who are in that rat, cat, and up till the wife situation, we see in our lives. And how we can explain to them that, they'll say, what we are living in the material world, what spiritual solutions, we are like stuck with this problem, that problem for them. And of course, I put myself also in that situation, even if I'm doing my spiritual practices under the guidance of different Shiksha Guru, and still I feel that, this is a very, very strong statement to have a really strong faith that, oh, all my problems will be solved with spiritual solution, because it really feels very good to hear this, but having the faith in this statement is a little bit on the tougher side. So uh, can you explain a little bit in reference to this?
Yes. I'll tell you 3 points in this connection.
Yeah.
Number 1, first of all, preaching is not by words. Preaching is by action. If you want to convince anyone about any of your statements, show them by your action. Because you and me came to Krishna consciousness not just by hearing some classes. We saw people living what they spoke. We saw that Krishna consciousness in complete action. Suppose whomever preached you or me, after Bhagavatam class, if you had a cigarette smoking, or if you had done some nonsense, you and me won't be sitting in this Bhagavatam class. So very first thing to all the preachers, to all the practitioners, it is for our own good. We are supposed to practice. And even if you have to preach, that's the most powerful way to convince someone. Hey, you come and see, Baba, I am enjoying. How will you convince your your sister-in-law, your brother, your family member, saying that this fridge is working nicely? Because you bought it. You bought this washing machine. You bought this, small robo cleaning. So you used them. You are saying, "Arey Baba, I am using them." So that is number 1. Number 2 part is with respect to, changing or giving such bold statements, is that when we are studying Vedic literature, we have one fundamental criteria that we need to follow. Suppose I study 20 pages. at least I should start contemplating on applying one page, half a page of that content. If our application and study does not go hand in hand, somewhere we will become an impractical speaker, impractical preacher, and we will definitely annoy people. In the sense that if my practice and preaching go hand in hand, then people will be able to appreciate what we are doing. I'll give an example. Suppose I study cookbooks, recipe books. I have 25 books at home. I know at least 400 different varieties of preparations. But I always make dal khichdi at home. What is the value of me studying 400 recipes if I do not cook for my near and dear ones? So as I study, if I study one book, I'll try to slowly practice. I study, maybe it will not work in the first place. I'll keep trying them. I can keep reading them also. So what I'm trying to say is as practicing devotees, our narration, communication, and even the other person's perspective towards devotees, because half of the time, because of our annoying behavior, we are not able to present Krishna to somebody else. I'm generally taking this. I've seen this I have done this. Let me not use any. I have done this. When I was in my Krishna conscious early days, even now probably I'm doing this probably, I have annoyed people by my impractical, way of practicing Krishna consciousness, or sometimes double standard way of practicing Krishna consciousness. We may have our own conditioning, but it is important. So this is number 2. So my second point is, we'll have to pace our learning application hand in hand, and that is how we should suggest someone also. So when we are preaching someone, we are giving an explanation to someone, we have to explain to that much which they can assimilate. They get to that stage, then we go next further, then next further. The third and most important aspect is with respect to our being, because whenever we talk about this topic, one statement comes is, let us be pragmatic. Krishna consciousness is absolutely pragmatic. Krishna consciousness is absolutely practical. Just that we are not practical to understand them. In the sense that let us try to create a community of devotees. Let us try to create an ecosystem where one helps the other, another helps the third helps the fourth. That way what happens is, people does not only see you and me. People see, this is a group of people in different walks of life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that is why he is one of the Goswamis, is because he has done a tremendous contribution to explain how Krishna consciousness can be practiced while you are in your professional, your normal social life as grihasthas. So the reason this community conversation is important is, when we create an ecosystem, when we create a community, you can always say, you see, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have lawyers, we have auditors, we have professionals, we have singers, we have housewives, we have children, and we are all earning. We are all happily earning. So that is why we always say devotees need not be poor. If anybody thinking that by being Krishna consciousness we should be poor, not earning money, that is wrong. Make more money, become more rich, become more famous, become more powerful. But please note, in your heart, you carry Krishna. In your heart, you remember that you are a missionary. You have a mission. And the mission is to win you and me and many others to the lotus. So these are 3 ways by which I would tackle the situation. Making sense, Nadaji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so for elaborately explaining, the answer. And of course, we have to have a leap of faith, in this, and then continue accordingly, because otherwise, it's like we can just kind of say this thing, but not really feel that, this movement is given by Srila Prabhupada, and like all our problems, like you mentioned, the Masastakam is there, but devotees go beyond that, because all their problems have to be solved, through this only. Like we say that you have to chant nicely. So if you're chanting nicely, then it makes so much of difference in practices, because 99% of our devotional service is chanting and concentrating on the holy name. So yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Okay. Probably we can.
Prabhuji, would you also like to say something about Bhakti Vinod Thakur?
I did say something.
Sorry? Yeah.
I did say something. There are a lot more we can say, but I'm not sure how much time we have.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
Prabhuji.
I know you said, but then maybe a little bit more. Today is our morning fasting for him, and I just shared one quote, on Facebook, that while we are chanting, I just saw a quote and I thought maybe I'll share with my friends and relatives. Let's see if I can read that. Wonderful quote from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. When you chant with your fingers on the mala, you should feel that your fingers are touching the lotus feet of Krishna. Amazing. This can only come from the acharyas, our acharyas, how they, connect the holy name to, Krishna. Like, in a sense, we would not, we should be careful with our beads, that, and one time, I think Radhan Maharaj was mentioning this, that initially, when the beads is given to us by our Guru Maharaj, they are very rough and they might hurt us because they're new beads. But as we keep on chanting the beads, the mala, although it's made of stone like Tulsi mala, it becomes like soft, very soft. The mala itself converts from becoming very harsh to soft, the surface. And I mean, even the mala has effect on it because he's been chanting the holy name. So that was really wonderful. One time I was thinking, heard that. So
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
yeah, Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai.
Yeah.
Thakur ji ki jai. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Prabhuji, I have one more question. So, Krishna says, Sarvarambha Parityagi Gunatita Sauchate in chapter 14, and also in nectar instruction, he said, Atyahara Prayasascha. So, too much prayas, that is decried, right?
Too much prayas for personal benefit. Too much prayas for name, fame, power, position, followers. That is the problem. Too much prayas for Krishna is glorious. Too much prayas for myself, my personal family growth, my personal growth, too much prayas. That is why I'm saying, if you are carrying Krishna and Krishna's mission as your life and goal, then everything that you do can be purified. Because your goal is to please Krishna. You are carrying Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita about a girl who just got married to someone whom she did not like. She had a lover. And Prabhupada says that if she has to enjoy with the lover whilst being in the marriage, she need to make sure that she looks after her husband so well and then sneak out to enjoy with her boyfriend. So similarly, we will have to make sure that we have Krishna as our lover, eternal friend, eternal guardian, eternal, parental, care, that we have every possible way we should, strike a chord with them by trying to manage the materialistic situation. So the idea is that when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we sometimes become very, we just get very stuck to the verbatim things rather than understanding the underlying mood. So to explain that only Srila Prabhupada has to write his purport. Because he gives a purport by saying how by we carrying Krishna's consciousness in our heart, we will be able to excel pretty well. And that's how every Acharya has demonstrated. Raghunath Das Goswami, he did that when he was with his parent. So Rupa and Sanatana, they did that when they were with Nawab Hussain Shah. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada for 44 years, he did that whilst carrying Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's mission. We have plenty of examples. I guess you and me have this responsibility. One time, devotees were going on a morning walk. At that time, one devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, we have heard about 12 Mahajanas, but actually, you are the 13th Mahajana, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada immediately say, you are the 14th. So, which means Srila Prabhupada is expecting. He is not shying away from saying that, no, I'm not a Mahajana. Srila Prabhupada is saying, we are all supposed to elevate ourselves to become Mahajana. So when he says you are the 14th, which means you follow a Mahajana, you will also become Mahajana. So keep the target, we will all keep the target that one day we will become Mahajana, not for becoming famous and getting the title, but for making, a significant impact in the society. Making sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. There are no further questions, then we can end this.
Prabhuji, one more question is there, but it's not connected to your class.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, when we offer bhoga to the Lord, one of the things which, comes to my mind is that, they say that, since we cannot manufacture even a small little piece of rice or grain, so we have to express our gratitude because everything is coming from Krishna only. And it's not like, even if you have a lot of money or less money, whatever it is, we have money, we buy less money, we buy a little less. But the point is that, everything is coming. So an attitude of gratitude has to be there. And otherwise we are like big time thieves, even if we purchased it, still we have to have that gratitude because, suppose we have a purchasing power and there's no grain or rice available in the market, what will be our condition? We'll just have pieces of note with us, dollars or rupees or whatever. So that's one aspect, which will motivate us to offer to the Lord. And of course, second, we already know from Bhagavad Gita that I'm also like, I'm also thinking from point system, hearing your classes. The second is about, we are eating sin because we didn't offer it. And because sin is involved in plucking a cauliflower, and because everything has life. So just these 2 points come in mind. But suppose I'm preaching to someone and these 2 points I'm not able to convince to them, especially about the sinning point, I'm not able to convince. Other one I will be able to, because is there any other point which we can keep in mind? So that way we are also more careful. And because, how our chanting and eating and then stomach, everything is aligned, nectar of instructions, right? So it's very, very careful to take only prasadam, and it can affect our consciousness also if we are, sometimes, like two things do happen. Like, sometimes when somebody is cooked, we'll just take, okay, we say Vishnu, and we take the food. And we're not realizing who cooked it, what it is, with what consciousness it was cooked. So a lot of scientific things are involved. But coming back to the point, about, is there any other more valid reason which we can encourage people who are a little bit swayed from not only taking prasadam and they used to take prasadam?
Mataji, Peta movement and Vegan movement has done much more powerful preaching to these people than you and me could do. They just without any philosophical base, just on one singular point, they have managed to that. So point is that For a person to understand, to get convinced, there are different people are differently oriented. What inspired somebody to become a vegan? I mean, I'm not supporting vegan movement or supporting PETA. I know what PETA, right? Those who are prevention against animals, treating animals badly or using animal products and things like that. So these people, they may be drinking wine and alcohol, but they will not eat non-veg. They will not eat milk products. So somewhere, nowadays people, because of their own orientation in terms of their philosophical orientation, they cling on to some point. So there is no singular formula for everyone, but one formula works for everyone, which is that please leave your center and think about the larger agenda. The formula is, today everybody is yearning to earn, but our suggestion to everyone is, you yearn to learn. You learn and earn and return. ये भाषा सबको समझ में आता है. You just be a singular enjoyer for your own self. You are a selfish goose. You learn to return something to the society. What will you return to the society if you do not have anything to give? So please acquire some good qualities. Who will tell good qualities? Good qualities are defined by good people, and good people are called great saints who have compared them in Vedas, and they have shown by their own practices. So this is one thread of saying. Or otherwise also, we know what is dharma, adharma. As much as you know what is righteousness is, please subscribe to righteousness. Even the normal law and order people know what righteousness is. Can we subscribe to that? And then slowly build it up. But sutra that Srila Prabhupada adopted is, Srila Prabhupada said, invariably, whether somebody is good, bad, ugly, poor, intelligent, bad, whatever that is, Prabhupada gave them holy name. He just made them chant the holy name, and slowly worked his magic around. So instead of waiting for them to get better and then, make them chant, he gave them chanting, which eventually made them better. Did I respond to
that? Yes, Prabhuji, this is like heard long time back, but then, we are living in Kali Yuga and we are shortened with memory. So yes, I mean, if they are not offering regularly and things like that, first tell them to concentrate on doing good chanting. So that will automatically make space for cleaning the heart. And once the heart is cleaned, then they will automatically get Krishnaized, Krishna conscious. And then they will follow Krishna conscious practices. But of course, yes, the most important, I feel, is the association of devotees. Because, we ourselves, we are so surcharged on the weekends because, we have devotees and we see the enthusiasm and everything they're doing to serve Krishna. Couple of festivals went by. But then again, from Monday to Friday, we do our practices. But, we get involved in so many other things. Devotees are not around us because, sometimes the family is not devotee and many other situations come up. Then again, we resort back to association. So all these situations are there. But one thing is there, the holy name is there with us. So that's very, very truly said. And this is so nice to hear this answer, very simple answer, which I might have heard, but, and of course we have to follow our acharyas. That's what Prabhupada did, where, in the New York, the Prabhupada tree is so famous, where he chanted and in fact, he chanted to people who were like drugs and this and that. And some of them became devotees. They started coming to the center. So, of course, we can't imitate Prabhupada, but we have to follow. And in following that, if such a big acharya has done that, then, and of course, our impact will not be same as Srila Prabhupada. He would, there are a lot of people who say, we just saw Prabhupada from very far away. He was about to catch the plane. And people became devotees because of that. Not even talking, not even seeing the face, even seeing the back of Prabhupada, because his aura around him was so powerful. He was, his presence in the area itself. But, with us, it's like they will not take it up so fast and so easily chant nicely. but still we can continue because this is what our acharyas did. And yeah, thank you.
Experiential learning is very powerful.
Mhm.
All our acharyas have made us experience. So it is our duty to work in such a manner, to conduct ourselves in such a manner, the other person is able to experience Krishna consciousness. Whether it is experience Krishna conscious prasadam, experience Krishna conscious association, experience Krishna conscious chanting, experience Krishna conscious darshan, experience Krishna conscious extravaganza. Nobody is going to hear you, just you and me, just and immediately one lecture they heard. Maybe that will also work. I'm not saying that it's not going to work, but we have to make sure that we let them experience. And from that perspective, the onus is on ourselves also how we, manage to do that by our conduct and also by our facilitation.
Thank you so much for addressing and answering this question, which was in my mind, because like I'm always preaching among the family members, and when family members go away and they are with non-devotees, then I see when I talk to them on the phone, their consciousness is different. And then I ask them about prasadam, they'll say it's very difficult, sometimes yes, we offer fruits and all, or like they're just not able to I feel cooked food offering to Krishna is like a devotional service, because we are making the effort to convert, a potato to a vegetable. So, otherwise we just can't boil a potato and give it to Krishna. We have to give it to him with all the masalas and everything. So, yeah, people are even lazy to do that in Kali Yuga. So, but yeah, we have to constantly, show our own example, like you said in the previous question. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, looks like there are no more questions, so then maybe we can start this conversation.
We can end the call. Shamarasika Mataji, you there? Okay, so Vancha Kalpatarubish.
Hare Krishna, Madam Ram. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful, wonderful class. And at last moment, I requested you, and you kindly accepted the request and gave such a wonderful class. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
It was very inspiring class, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Such a well explained, like everything deeply. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So let's pay obeisance to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatar vaishya kripasin. Danam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Aditi jai.
Jai.
Bhagvatam ki jai.
Jai.
Ram Girdhari Prabhu ji ki jai.
Jai.
Vinod Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Hare